Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary. Today's video is a continuation from my previous video of how I obtained my US nursing license as a foreign graduate nurse and the costs that are involved in that. If you haven't watched that video and you'd like to, I'm going to leave a link of it up here or down below in the description box. So as you've read in the title today, I'm going to be talking about how I passed my NCLEX with 75 questions the first time, the study materials that I had used, and my experience as an NCLEX test taker from abroad. So if you just happen to click on this video and don't know what the NCLEX is, the NCLEX is a nursing examination in the United States for those who completed their nursing school and wish to obtain their license to practice as a nurse. So the NCLEX is a computerized adaptive test, and it generates questions to the test taker's ability in relation to the passing standard. It gets harder when a test taker selects the correct answer, and the questions get easier if the test taker gets them wrong. The minimum requirement for the computer to have sufficient data in relation to what the passing standard is 75, and the questions go up to 265, and the maximum amount of hours to complete the test is 6 hours. Currently, with the coronavirus, questions have been reduced, and now the minimum requirement to pass the test is 60, and the maximum amount of questions that could be asked is 130, and the test time now is at 4 hours. So not everybody can sit the NCLEX examination. The nursing regulatory body need to provide eligibility for those who wish to sit the exam. So I received my eligibility once I've completed all the necessary paperwork and submitted them to my State Board of Nursing. At the time of my application, I was applying for the State Board of Pennsylvania. I received my authorization to test in my email end of October, and I did my NCLEX examination on the 20th of January 2020. So guys, I only had less than 3 months to prepare for my examination. 3 months is not enough time to prepare for the NCLEX. Honestly guys, I don't know how I did it, but I did. I'm a full-time working nurse, and at that time too, I was preparing to get married, and I went on vacation in December, and it was Christmas and New Year, and I also got sick. So there was a lot of things happening at the time. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the study materials I used, just a little bit of advice and tips for how I passed my NCLEX. I used the UWorld app. I subscribed for 3 months and it was $199. It came with 2 tests. The self-test, I was able to do a self-test before and in the middle. I'd advise you do the self-test before you go through any questions, just to see where you're at, and go at the midway through the process and try and sit a second self-test to reassess where you're at. I advise that you don't do this before your examination because it will give you such great anxiety that you're not going to pass. The important thing going to a test center is believing that you will pass the examination. The second thing that I had used for my studies was the Saunders Comprehensive Review NCLEX RN, and I believe it was the 7th edition. I was very fortunate enough that a friend of mine had NCLEX lecture audio. It was really helpful guys, and I think you can find it on Google somewhere too, a summary of his notes, and you can use this alongside your preparation for your NCLEX. So because I only had less than 3 months, I really had to study smart. Number one, because of the fact that I graduated in Ireland, I was not familiar with the NCLEX and had to become very comfortable very quickly with the format, the way the questions were being asked. The NCLEX comes in various formats. It could be multiple choice questions, multiple responses, ordered responses, hotspots, multimedia. They may ask you to listen to an audio of lung sounds and identifying what the lung sound is, or hearing heart sounds and things like that, and being able to select the correct one. I found that the UWorld app was very similar to the NCLEX, and the way that the NCLEX was formatted. The UWorld app, it really did help me with that process. So doing as many questions really made me more comfortable with the NCLEX. Second tip that I have is using your resources together. So I was using my Saunders book as well as my UWorld app, and I was using Mark Klemek. So if Mark Klemek was talking about acid and bases, I'd go back to my Saunders book and review acid and bases, and I would go to my UWorld app and also review and answer as many questions on acid and bases. And also when I get incorrect questions, I go back to the incorrect questions and try and answer them as well. The third thing that I would suggest is creating a study plan for yourself. The Saunders book was great in that it created a study plan for me. I'm gonna insert my study plan here. This is a 6-week study plan, so it was a very concise study plan. It helped to guide me and it helped me remain focused on the subjects that I still needed to review. Identifying your strengths and your weaknesses. So there are core subjects in your NCLEX, which are medical and surgical nursing, obstetrics, pediatrics, and psychiatric nursing. So my strengths were in medical nursing, surgical nursing, and my weaknesses were in obstetrics, pediatrics, and psychiatric. So I studied my weaknesses more so than my strengths, but it didn't mean that I forgot my strengths, so I went back to review my strengths also. I cannot emphasize the importance of test-taking strategies. So the test-taking strategies really helped me tackle any questions that came up on the NCLEX. When a question was difficult, I went back to my test-taking strategy skills using the process of elimination, rereading the question, using prioritization such as your ABCs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, identifying what the strategic words were. So test-taking strategies reminded me that there is something that I am able to do. So when a question got difficult, I went back to my test-taking strategy skills, identify what the question was asking me, what the subject and what the specific content area was, rereading it and focusing on what the question is really asking me. I insert an example here.
Upon assessment, the nurse records a newborn's respiratory rate and takes no further action. Which of these does the nurse record? So breaking down this question, the subject is pediatrics, content area is the vital signs. Using the process of elimination, we can identify the correct answer. So in summary, here are some test-taking strategy skills.
Important thing is to pray. What really got me through the less than 3 months of preparation for my NCLEX was praying. Believe in the power of prayer, guys. You will pass the examination. I prayed to God for guidance, for perseverance, and wisdom. Want me to pray for you? Just comment down below. Pray that you pass your NCLEX examination. So that's it for my advice and my tips. I hope you do take away something from it. Just moving on briefly onto my examination experience. So if you are taking your test in the UK, NCLEX Test Centre is in High Holborn in London. So the accommodation that I stayed in was Travelodge, Covent Garden. It was 2 minutes walk to the test center. Across the street there is a coffee shop that I did go to the morning of my exam. It's really important to have breakfast and have something to drink, because you're thinking going into the examination you're gonna max out on the time that you need to sit for the examination. So I was coming into my examination, I was thinking that I was gonna be sitting there for 6 hours doing these questions, so I really needed to have something to eat. So although I was really nervous, I had half a breakfast sandwich and half of an orange juice before I went to the test center. My exam was at 8 o'clock and I need to be there for 7:30. I advise that you bring as little as possible to the test center because you leave it at your locker anyway. So don't forget to bring your authorization to test and your identification, whether it be your passport or your driver license. When I went to London Saturday and my exam was on a Monday, if you are not staying at the Travelodge, just make sure that you know how to get to your test center on time. If you are taking the NCLEX there, the Travelodge is a good place to stay. Guys, that's it for my NCLEX journey. I hope you found this video helpful and beneficial to you. I wish you the very best of luck in your nursing exam. You can do, believe you can. My dad always tells me if someone else can do it, then I can do it too. So just believe in that, guys. I was able to pass my NCLEX examination, so you can too. So guys, if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions and I'm gonna get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Please subscribe, it really helps me and my channel, and I hope to see you on my next video. Don't forget, you're good. Take care now, guys. Bye.